Welcome everybody to this Eagle Court of Honor. My name is Pritza Patel and I am the Senior Patrol Leader for Troop 2. Will everyone rise for the presentation of the colors? Troop 2, attention. Color guard, please present the colors. Scout hand salute.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in the scout oath.
I will do my best to do my duty to honor my country, to obey the scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally upright.
Please join me in the scout law.
Scouts trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. As an American, I will do my best to continue in my house to provide, consider the category to be conservation-minded.
Two. Please be seated. Our Master of Ceremonies is Mr. Daly, Committee Chair of Troop 2. Mr. Daly, would you please come up?
Good afternoon. Scouts, Scouters, Friends of Scouting, my name is Bob Daly. I'm the Master of Ceremonies for this Court of Honor. I would like to welcome you all to this joyous time in our troop. This is an occasion for pride and joy, as well as a time for serious reflection. The Eagle rank is the highest recognition that Scouting offers, and not even 5% of Scouts who begin finish as an Eagle. The wearer of the Eagle Award represents the epitome of Scouting's best efforts and devotions. Pardon me, it's a long script. Mrs. Kelly gave it to me. It's a long script. Today we have the pleasure of witnessing Will Kelly, Reagan Barr, and Alex Bailey realize the culmination of their hard work and dedication and when they join the Fellowship of Eagle Scouts. So, will the Northeast Illinois Council representative, Mr. Jack Baldwin, please come up to the podium? Or just come up right here, where there is no podium. What? Is that better? Thank you.
By the authority vested in me as the representative of the Northeast Illinois Council and the National Council of the Scouts PSA, I declare this Court of Honor to be convened. The Eagle candidates whose efforts culminate this evening in the presentation of the Eagle rank have labored long to enter this brotherhood. We look forward to honoring them.
We last used this during the evening, so the word evening is in here a few times. Okay, would Pierce Bailey please come up, another Troop 2 Eagle, and he's going to light the Eagle Spirit Candle. The former Troop 2 Eagles, who are obviously still Eagles, but they don't have their uniforms anymore, so we're just identifying them to you.
I would direct your attention to the candle in front of you. This candle represents the spirit of scouting, a spirit which burns brightly in the heart of every Eagle Scout. When a youth joins scouting, something grows within the youth that we call scout spirit. The youth may not know that it exists or know its meaning, but by following the trail to Eagle, the spirit is magnified. This single candle lit before you represents that spirit. The spirit of scouting embodies the principles of the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. It is servant leadership. Alone, this light may seem feeble, but when multiplied by the millions of youth in scouting around the world, it is powerful indeed. This spirit is fostered by the mentorship and example set by those Eagles who have gone before it, and is how we are changing the world one youth at a time. This is also why we have mixed age patrols at Troop 2. The older scouts light the way for the younger scouts by setting a good example and sharing their knowledge and experience with the younger scouts.
Thank you, Pierce. I nominate Pierce to be the Master of Ceremony. He's got quite a voice. All right. So the Trail to Eagle. The presentation of the Eagle Scout Award is a significant moment for both the Scout and the troop. For each Eagle candidate, this is the end of a long trail representing a culmination of his or her scouting efforts. Will Mr. Galindo and Mr. Patel please come up and describe the skills and experience gained by these scouts on their trail to Eagle?
Greetings, guys. So this is meant to be a little bit long on purpose because there's a lot of things that our Eagle candidates have done on the way to Eagle. But I'm just going to get started and we'll go back and forth here. So we're going to start looking at some of the things that Will, Reagan, and Alex have done on the way to Eagle. First of all, in terms of achievements, they have earned the ranks of Scout, Tenderfoot, Second Class, First Class, Star, Life, and soon Eagle. Along the way, they've earned 13 required merit badges and 8 elective merit badges, served in troop leadership positions for a minimum of 16 months, and spent at least 16 hours of service projects, not including the many hours they spent on their own Eagle Scout service projects. In all, they've completed approximately 325 different requirements.
What have they learned from this experience? What can a scout do? First, of course, an Eagle Scout is an outdoor person. He or she knows how to pack their pack, camp, swim, and hike, use wood tools, build a fire, use a backpacking stove, and find their way with a map and compass. They've spent at least 20 days and nights camping. Camping out in a tent they pitched on a site they selected. Many of those times they planned their own menus and cooked their own food or the food for the patrol or troop.
The Eagle Scout is comfortable with nature. He or she can identify local animals and plants, including poisonous plants. They understand the causes of water, land, air pollution, and have participated in at least 2 conservation-related service projects. They have lived for extended periods of time with other scouts, many of whom they led, coached, or mentored. They embody the Scout motto, be prepared. They know how to treat fractures, head injuries, hypothermia, frostbite burns, abdominal pain, muscle cramps, heart attack, and even knocked out teeth. They know what to do in case of a fire, explosion, desert emergency, motor vehicle accident, mountain accident, food poisoning, flood, and avalanche. And I'm sorry I read your part. That's okay. Got carried away there. The Eagle Scout is a good citizen. He or she has been to a city meeting and knows how the city government is organized. Will, Reagan, and Alex, they know that their senators are Dick Durbin and
They know, you know.
yeah, huh? And excuse me, Tammy Duckworth. They know the representatives is Janet Schakowsky. They've read the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution, and they've written a letter to at least one of those representatives in Washington. They know how to manage their money.
From here. Great. So, I had to cut in there. They know how to manage their money and understand the risks and benefits of putting their money in savings bonds, mutual funds, common stock, certificates of deposit, and life insurance. You all know how to do that? That's impressive. They have set financial goals and made plans to achieve those goals. The Eagle Scout has worked towards fitness goals. He or she has competed against themselves in tests of aerobic endurance, flexibility, and muscular strength. They know what it means to be physically, mentally, and emotionally fit. He or she is a good family member. They know what things are important to the members of his family and have talked to their family about finances, drug abuse, and growing up. All these things they have done in order to earn the ranks preceding or the merit badges required for Eagle. Beyond those, they have earned 8 elective merit badges, which introduce them to subjects such as space exploration, engineering, animal science, rock climbing, sailing, kayaking, and canoeing. They've also learned firearm safety and marksmanship skills with a rifle, shotgun, and bow, and they learned crafts such as leather working, woodworking, and metalworking.
So what's an Eagle Scout? He or she is a young man or woman who is qualified to help others as well as take care of themselves. He or she is a good neighbor, citizen, fellow employee, husband, wife, father, or mother. The Eagle Badge is not a decoration or a checkbox, but rather a symbol of knowledge, ability, and most importantly, character. Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, guys. So, when we lit the Scout Spirit Candle, and when I say we, I mean Pierce, a few minutes ago, we noted that the Scout Spirit is demonstrated by following the Scout Oath and Law. When living the oath and law, we act as a beacon of light to others. Eagle candidates, you have reached the pinnacle of scouting, and thus you now have the opportunity to cast your light across a much greater audience. By becoming an Eagle Scout, you gain more than just a medal to wear. You gain an important obligations. So I'd like the Eagle Scouts Sean, Chris, and Robbie Kelly to come up and read the obligations.
Good afternoon. My name is Sean Kelly, a brother of Will Kelly, one of three, and a Troop 2 Eagle Scout. The foremost obligation of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of character. He or she knows that a Scout is trustworthy, and that this is the very first point of the Scout Law for a good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably, not only because honor is important to them, but also because of the vital significance of the example they set for other Scouts. Living honorably reflects credit on a Scout's home, troop, and community. May the white of the Eagle Badge remind you to always live with honor.
I'll stick to the script. Good afternoon. My name is Chris Kelly, brother of Will Kelly, and Troop 2 Eagle Scout. The second obligation of an Eagle Scout is loyalty. A Scout is true to his or her family, Scout leaders, friends, school, and nation. Loyalty to the troop, patrol, fellow Scouts makes a Scout pitch in and carry his or her share of the load. He or she will look out for the best interest of his or her fellow Scouts, as they will do likewise. You must always also be loyal to your own ideals. Always take the high road, and do not let others sway you from this course. Let the blue of the Eagle Badge always inspire your loyalty. 3 for 3. Good afternoon. My name is Rob Kelly, brother of Will Kelly, and Troop 2 Eagle Scout. The third obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be courageous. Courage has always been a quality by which people measure themselves and others. Throughout your life, you will face many challenges and obstacles. To a Scout, bravery means not only the courage to face physical danger, but the determination to stand up for what is right. Like the high ideals of our nation, an Eagle Scout seeks the best in his or her fellows. He or she has the courage to seek justice for all and to stand up for the less fortunate. An Eagle looks forward to each day, seeking his or her share of the world's work to do so that they can make the world a better place. Let the red of the Eagle Badge remind you always of courage.
Thank you, guys. These are your obligations as Eagle Scouts: honor, loyalty, and courage. By meeting these obligations, you can lead your troop, your community, your nation toward a better tomorrow and a better world. All along the trail of achievement, your Scoutmasters have given you advice and encouragement. I call upon your Scoutmasters, Mr. Galindo and Mr. Patel, to vouch for you today. Which means you gotta come up.
We can stay here. I do vouch for these Scouts. How about you, Mr.
I vouch for these Scouts. Having spent 12 days with them in New Mexico, I vouch for them.
All right, that wasn't exactly what's on the, but that's fine. We'll take that. Thank you, guys. All right, so Griffin Barr, Troop 2 Eagle, will now come forward and administer the Eagle Charge.
Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Griffin Barr. I'm Reagan's older brother and a Troop 2 Eagle. And now, let me begin. Scouts of all nations make up one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the history of the world. You have been judged by Scouts BSA as being worthy of the rank of Eagle. This award, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed an obligation of honor, loyalty, and courage. You've achieved the rank by doing your duty to God and country, to your fellow Scouts, and to the human race as general. America has many good things to give you and your children after you, but these things depend, on the most part, for the quality of our citizens. Our country has had a great past. You can help make the future even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with solemn dedication. Be a leader and lead towards the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service and to the greater good. Act in a way that those who observe you will be inspired to do greater deeds. Eagle candidates, by the repetition of the Eagle Scout promise before your fellow members, you will become an Eagle Scout. When you pledge yourself on your sacred honor, you will be sealing your eternal loyalty to the code of the Eagle Scout with the same words that close the Declaration of Independence. Will Eagle Scouts in the audience stand and rededicate themselves by repeating the Eagle Scout promise with our new Eagle Scouts? Stand up. Eagles, please repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance to the promises of the Scout Oath I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example and my status and my influence count strongly for the better scouting and better citizenship.
Too long.
To make my training and my example and my status and my influence count strongly for the better of scouting and for better citizenship. In my troop, in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my sacred honor. 2, please be seated.
Griffin's not going to be doing weddings soon either. Everybody's going to be like, what? Huh? All right. This is the presentation of awards in case you're following along. Candidates, we are finally at the point in the ceremony for which you have been waiting. We welcome the Scoutmasters, Mr. Galindo and Mr. Patel, again, for some comments. First.
All right, come on. This is short. Well, if we lose our flags here. So, I always say that no scout ever makes it to Eagle without a little bit of loving encouragement, maybe a little bit more than loving encouragement from their parents. Parents are so important in being able to reach that goal. So, just to illustrate this point, I'd like all the parents to stand up of these 3 Eagle Scouts. So, at any one time, guys, has there not been at least one moment where you had to encourage your scout to complete something related to scouting? Yes. Figured as much, right? So, sit down if there's not been at least one time that you had to maybe give a gentle nudge to get them out the door to a troop meeting. Sit down if there hasn't been one time where you didn't think they would ever complete the requirements for Eagle within your lifetime. Right. And finally, sit down if you're not proud of your scouts. I rest my case. Please have a seat, guys. So we really want to thank you because, and I know your scouts thank you because without you, it wouldn't have happened. It's just impossible. And I can tell you there's never a time along the scout trail towards Eagle that at some point a scout doesn't think, oh, I'm quitting, I'm out of this. A little bit of encouragement gets them over that hump. And we'll talk a little bit about determination later on. But they learn eventually to have that determination and to crystallize those goals. But it's because of you guys and your encouragements that helped them get here. So thank you very much. All right, so we're ready to present our awards. We're going to have each scout in turn, starting with Will come up, and we'll have the parents come up as well. So Will you come up? There's a pin for that, by the way. Okay, this is Will.
Which one are you starting?
We'll start with Mom. Thank you. And let me have the actual Eagle medal. Okay. Right. Come on, Mom, Dad. So technically, the first person to get a pin is the scout. So we'll start with you, and we've got a lot of other stuff to give you. So, but here's to start with, because you're not going to pin them before you get it, right? So you're a military guy. Congratulations, Will.
Thank you.
So, there's from Mom.
You got room there, Mom? Just
We'll leave the mentor pins here for now. There's for Dad. Ronnie. Pretty sharp. We got a camera here, turn and face it together. Finally, this is presented by the troop. It's a great place to put your medal since it sort of gets in the way a lot. And I believe Mom and Dad actually keep this in the living room. So for you, you don't have to donate it to the family. So those are for all of you to wear on your suits. Congratulations again. Please have a seat.
Reagan, will you please join us up here, Mr. and Mrs. Barr? figured if you got poked, it'd be better Mom did it than me. I'll just point out that Reagan's scarf is slightly different. She is part of the inaugural class of girls that have become Eagle Scouts. So she is in the first group, and so she gets a slightly different scarf. So congratulations again for that. And want to grab a picture? Were you able to grab a picture?
I want to grab one
Okay.
picture.
And then Reagan, the troop is presenting you with a similar plaque. We're going to keep it up here so you don't have to rest it on the ground. So this will be yours to mount to the frame. Okay? We'll keep it up here for now. Congratulations.
All right, Alex. Time to step up. Come on, Dad. So,
Steve, that way.
let's all turn face. And finally, if you haven't seen your certificate, here it is. Looks good on the wall. All right. We'll leave it right here for safety's sake. And this is the suit.
Go put it back. Put it back.
So we failed to do one thing, which is, while you're here, invite each of the parents to share any stories of your Eagle Scout that you would want to share, if you feel like.
Since you're up here, why don't we start with you guys?
Absolutely.
An anecdote, if you will.
An anecdote could be positive, could be embarrassing, your choice.
We're so happy to be here today celebrating your attainment of Eagle Scout, Alex. It's been a wonderful journey from your first adventures into scouting with Mom and Sue Kelly as his den leader, and how squirrely and energetic they were, but all the fun times they had, including the Pinewood Derby, Twilight Camp, where Jack Baldwin was always a cheerful and patient presence. Then his very first camp out at Starved Rock as a Boy Scout, where he got to experience so many new and exciting things, including hiking 5 very long miles as a 7-year-old, wood chopping with a real axe, and Mr. Galindo's legendary snoring, of course. How he was equal parts exhausted and elated by the time he arrived home.
His first experience at Makajuan, where he learned to truly be a part of a team, and that the word siesta has a different meaning entirely up there. Always commando as a highlight of his year, Philmont. Philmont was equal parts type 1 and type 2, as we like to say, in our house, where lifelong lessons and memories were formed. We are grateful to Troop 2 for giving him all of these experiences, especially Mr. Daly and Mr. Galindo for all of their time and dedication to ensuring that these boys have come to learn the deeper meaning of the Scout law and how to apply it to their lives on a daily basis. And to all of the other adult leaders who went on campouts, provided guidance, taught merit badges, and supported his journey in countless other ways.
Alex, we couldn't be more proud of the young man you've become, and look forward to seeing you go forth and live the principles of scouting as you enter the next stage of your life and beyond. Congrats, kiddo.
Mr. and Mrs. Barr.
So I was just told that I had to give this speech an hour ago, so apologies in advance. But I think to start with, for those of you who know me, you know my idea of camping in a tent is kind of a safari brochure. So lots of teak furniture, fully plumbed bathroom, place to watch the animals lope by. So the one thing that I would say is that I wanted to thank personally Mr. Galindo, Mr. Daly, Mr. Patel, and all of the other adult leaders who've helped along the way, because they really have made a huge difference. And I think this is a testament to what's scouting as an organization, and the adult leaders and everybody who helps, end up with days like today. So thank you. In terms of Reagan, obviously we're so proud of you, but I would be remiss if we didn't also thank Mrs. Barr, who had a 2-year journey to Eagle herself. The two of them worked tirelessly together. They went to Philmont together. They did the Eagle project together. It was just literally nonstop scouts for 2 years. Lots of solo nights at the Barr household as they went on campouts and this, that, and the other thing. And so we'd be remiss. I know it's Reagan's day, but we'd be remiss if we didn't thank Mrs. Barr as well. And Reagan, obviously we're so proud of you. Obviously being in the first class is fantastic, but really it was the commitment where you bore down and went nonstop for almost 2 years, which is a tremendous accomplishment. And all the Ivy League schools are going to love that application. But regardless, congratulations. It's an astonishing accomplishment, and we're really proud of you for doing it.
Thank you very much. Mr. and Mrs. Kelly.
Well, in the Army they say, if it ain't raining, it ain't training, and it wouldn't be a scout event if we didn't get a little rain. just as the comments to the group, all of these kids are great kids, and they all had great siblings who, kind of forged the path and set expectations pretty high. And it's quite a burden sometimes to follow in somebody's footsteps, but they really did it on their own. They did it because they wanted to do it. And if you look through their the program, you see they don't lack for ambition when it comes to Eagle Scout projects. Each one of them meant something to them. It was a lot of work, and it really made an impact on their communities. And so they've really become great young citizens. Will, congratulations. Well done. It's not always been easy. It's not always been something you wanted to do on a Tuesday night. But you stuck it out and you got it done. You worked really hard. Eagle Scout, Will's Eagle Scout project was building planter benches over at Winnetka Covenant Church. We'd go to church, and he had the satisfaction of seeing his Eagle project actually help others out. When church started back up again last summer, it was all outdoors. Those benches came in handy because people could sit on them and listen to the service. They still do. And it was quite a project. Congratulations again. Okay. Be brief. Be here, be brief, and be gone. Thanks.
Mrs. Kelly has nothing to say? Seems to always have something to say, but what do I know? All right, so in addition to the being presented eagle today, each one of these eagles has accomplished something. They're going to get what we call an eagle palm. So if you are an Eagle Scout, that means you have gotten 21 merit badges. If you have exceeded that amount by a number of 5, so 5, 10, 15, you can get a palm, and I am saying it's in the correct order, bronze, gold, or silver. Why it's in that order, we'll never know. But so each one of these guys is going to get a palm, and Will Kelly actually is going to get 2 palms because he has completed over 10 extra merit badges. So, hi. Oh, great. You can give it to him.
Will, come on up.
So while this is going on, because each one of these Eagle Scouts is not 18 or going to be 18 in the next 10 minutes, I only say that because it's happened, they can continue to get merit badges, and for each 5 they do, they will get another palm, and it continues back to bronze, gold, and silver, again, depending on how many they want to get. Right, Reagan? Exactly. See, as soon as I cover everything up, then the rain goes away. Alex?
I'm next.
All right. Okay, so the next thing is putting their names on the Eagle board. Well, you might have already noticed that the names are already on the Eagle board. So Mr. Patel and I took on a fairly large project, mostly Mr. Patel, that is, and we redid the Eagle board. Back then, it was about up to here. It was about 20 scouts shy of the size we needed. So we decided to make a much bigger one. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to find somebody to create the plates for it, so these newer eagles are just stickers right now. But believe me, we will get the plates. We will get them. So each one of them is on here. So Will is our 253rd eagle. Reagan is our 254th eagle, and obviously our first female eagle. And Alex is our 255th eagle. All right, one of my favorite parts is we have a tradition here in Troop 2 that we have their scout mates come up and tell interesting, hopefully clean stories about them. I vividly remember Robbie Kelly telling a story about a fire and a lantern, and it was not making me happy, but please try and stay away from those. So is there any scouts that would like to come up here and tell, or former Eagle Scouts maybe, in the case of siblings, that want to come up and tell a story about one of the scouts or all of them? This is your time. And people are getting up in the back rows. Good. At least the Steins are coming. Thank God. All right. Lewis, perfect. All right. Zach, you go first. You got up first.
Well, I have not been incredibly active in the troop lately because I'm about, 2 years removed from Eagle, but it's really nice to see a lot of new faces. And you guys, wow, I mean, I had the pleasure of spending about a week and a half in the Philmont High Adventure Scout Ranch with them in New Mexico. And there's a lot of things that I could talk about, but for the sake of being clean and also not getting rained on, I'm just going to say a little bit about everyone here. The leadership from these three, off the charts, incredible. Alex, one of the toughest kids I know, super resilient. He will bounce back from anything. Reagan, I mean, you were the only female scout besides your mom on our trip, and I imagine that going into that, initially gonna go with a bunch of other like sweaty teenage boys probably wasn't like the greatest, advertisement for the trip. But you were probably the best leader we had, among everybody else that was going, and so props to you for sticking through that. And Will, I have a story about you that I think most of the guys on Philmont will remember. On Philmont, we give people nicknames, or more of like they earn nicknames on the trail. We've had some pretty good ones in the past. I think Griffin's name was like Pisser or something. Oh, sorry, Clean. Pier, because he did something to a tree and it fell over. So that's pretty cool. So Will, well, he earned the nickname, I don't think you guys are ready for this. He earned the nickname Jewish Neo. Now, Neo, you're asking? From The Matrix. Keanu Reeves. There's a scene in The Matrix where he bends over backwards and he dodges some bullet or something like that. I haven't seen the movie actually, but it was a really cool clip that I saw on YouTube. So up in Philmont, there was actually a mountain that we were on that had snow, despite it being 100 degrees down in New Mexico. And we had just climbed Mount Baldy, I believe, or Baldy Mountain, sorry, which is 12,000 feet in the air. So we wanted to have a snowball fight. And during this snowball fight, Will decided to pull a Neo, bend over backwards, and dodge a snowball. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life from like a normal human. I think you're normal. You might be related to Jesus. I'm not sure. But that was incredible. And if that wasn't enough, if Neo wasn't a good enough name, I don't know if somebody put it on you or if you got a rabbi over to make it official, but you ended up with a snowball on your head that looked exactly like a yarmulke. And thus the name Jewish Neo was born. And there's a lot of other things I could talk about, how you guys were involved in some waterboarding in Philmont as well. Poor Lewis. I think he's okay. But yeah, there's a lot of good, fun moments we've had. A lot of times where they've shown incredible leadership and strength and toughness So congrats to you three, and keep up the good work when you start looking into colleges, which is scary to think about, but congrats, guys.
All right, well, I'll try to top that. So, for those who don't know, I'm Daniel Stein. I'm that guy's brother. I know I don't look like him at all. But, yeah, so I've known these guys for a long time, specifically Alex and Will. I've known them since elementary school. And, I think that all three of them have a very unique quality about them, or a very unique thing that they've done in their scouting career that I think is pretty interesting. I have some good stories. So, for example, for Will, we have two SPLs up here. Reagan and Will were both SPL before. Okay, thank you. Before I was, and so when I was running for SPL, when I was running for SPL, I decided to, they're done by Google form, so you vote by Google form. So I sent a text to Will, and I told him, I have the text here, I told him, hey, vote for me for SPL. Will gave me a nice response. He says, sure, but if you do get SPL, it's downhill from there. So, Will, he's a resilient guy. He's the youngest of 5 children. I don't think I've ever seen someone ask him to do something and him like groan and say like no. Like if you ask him to do something, he's gonna do it for you. Even in the terms of giving advice, even if it's maybe not the best thing to tell someone who wants to get SPL, but it's alright, I forgive you. Then there's Alex. Alex I've known for a long time, and I've also been to a lot of commandos with him. Commando, our annual capture the flag game. And now somehow I have never played on the same team as him. I have no idea how, but Alex is one of the scariest players ever in commando that I've faced. And I've faced off against people like Mark Daly, who are like high school track people, and they will like, and I was like in 6th grade and he was like really tall, but that's basically Alex anyway. So Alex is one of those guys where he will basically charge through the entire commando field to get you. And so as I've gotten older and I've been like a higher rank in commando, he's gone after me more often. So these past few commandos I've noticed that he will go through anyone and usually get me out because he's better than me. I will see him just sprinting through like 10 6th graders, probably kicking a bunch of them or something on his way to me, and then he eventually gets me out. And then, of course, during the break, he'll tell me, oh, I had a swim meet this weekend, so I'm only like going 80%. So I hope I never see him at commando when he is 100% healthy. So I'm praying that never happens. And then finally there's Reagan. So I've came to know Reagan a lot now since I've been in Scouts because, yeah. And so she was SPL during a very weird time. I don't know if you remember, but not only was she SPL during like the very, very beginning of the pandemic, but she was also doing her Eagle project, which I don't know how you do that, but yeah, she did a really good job being a good leader for the troop and the first female SPL during a really tough time. And as someone who's had to run a lot of virtual meetings, I can understand that being SPL, especially during the pandemic, is a very tough job. So, congratulations, guys.
There's a lot of stories I could tell, and I'm not sure which ones. Zach mentioning the waterboarding almost makes me want to tell that one. That was really strange. Because we were on Philmont, and we just got back from a hike, and we had everything set up. We washed our shirts so it was kind of drying, and the adults had left to do something. I'm not sure what they were out doing. But I don't remember who it was, whether it was Will or Alex, who asked, hey, why don't we waterboard each other? And the rest of us, being stupid boys, went, yeah, sure, that sounds like a good idea. And we get everything set up. We fill these little pouches, like 1-liter pouches, with water from the faucet, which was right outside our camp. And we lay down, and they start waterboarding me first. And right as they start, 2 of the adults walk back into camp, and they're like, "What are you doing?" We leave for 5 minutes, and you do this. Yeah. For example, another story, when Alex brought 98.5% DEET bug repellent to Makajuan. And if you don't know, anything above 20% DEET melts oil products, like petroleum products. And he started spraying it on his pants, and he noticed that there were holes forming on his pants. And then Reagan, I haven't really known you a lot, and I don't have a lot of stories with you. You were in and out really fast when it comes to this troop, which I think speaks to your drive and ambition. And I think that is really you're gonna do really well afterwards.
Hi. For some of you who don't know me, my name is Pierce. I'm Alex's brother. I've known him obviously for quite a long time, so I have a lot of stories I could tell. But I think I'll tell the story of one of my first interactions with him and his cohort. Back when he was in elementary school and still in Cub Scouts, my mom, who was a dren leader, decided to drag me along to one of the meetings to try and teach knots to them. Even back then, I was pretty big, and I thought I could assert my control over them. But that day, I left defeated. I don't think a single knot was tied besides those they tied around each other's necks. In my little class, they were leaving, talking over me, yelling at each other. So I don't know how those two controlled them, but yeah. And it's just amazing to see how far they've come and what they are now. So Alex, I'm really proud of you. And yeah.
Thank you, Pierce. That was uplifting. Mrs. Kelly, we're going to be removing this part from future. Yeah, okay. No more stories. Sorry, it's over. All right, so at this point, Mr. Jack Baldwin's going to come up and do a presentation. He is our commissioner from the Northeast Illinois Council. Thank you, Jack.
Great Eagle Court of Honor. Beautiful. Also, I had to make sure that I had 3 similar sticks. And I don't know what you did, but this is the best dressed audience I've ever been to of my 350 Eagle Courts of Honor. So my congratulations. I'm the proud parent of 2 Eagle Scouts. Kevin is highly involved at the council and national level with alumni and shooting sports programs. Patrick was on the Brown Sea leadership training staff and also assists with conservation project in Makajuan. They have continued their scouting after college by assisting in the Wilderness and Engineering Society projects. The Wilderness Engineers are a great organization that helps camp get ready for the summer and take it down for the winter. Past Makajuan staffers and tradesmen to work on all kinds of projects to help Makajuan be one of the 8 best camps in the country. There are plenty of opportunities and challenges for parents and scouts at any level. The list of prominent Eagle Scouts grows every time I do this speech. The list includes 40 astronauts, 3 film directors, the star of Dirty Jobs, Nobel Prize winners, Rhodes Scholars, Pulitzer Prize winners, the new president of Harvard, 12 Medal of Honor recipients, one of the professional dancers on Dancing with the Stars, the Air Force's Chief of Staff, the member of the Tomb of the Unknown Honor Guard, 10 members of NASA's New Horizon mission, one of the 12 students who scored a perfect score on the National AP Calculus AB exam, 2019 top graduate at the Naval Academy. At the military academies, one of 7 midshipmen, one of 5 Army cadets, one of 10 Air Force cadets, one of 5 Coast Guard cadets, one of 8 Merchant Marine cadets. The actor who played the son in the TV series Madam Secretary. The starting quarterbacks of September 2019 BYU LSU football game. 15% of Texas A&M's Corps of Cadets. The designer of the new National World War I Memorial in Washington, D.C. The pastry chef for Emeril's Restaurant in New Orleans. That's where your cooking match comes in. The 7 members of the 2016 Summer Olympic team, including a Paralympian. 3 members of the 2018 Winter Olympic team. The U.S. Ambassador to Japan. 15% of Notre Dame's Band of the Fighting Irish. A NASCAR driver, a climber of the 7 summits. 3 families who had 10 Eagle Scout sons. The hiker of the Appalachian Trail, 2,200 miles in 94 days. Usually it takes 6 months. One of the country's best orthopedic surgeon whose scores of high-profile athletes owe their careers. The Michigan Legoland Master Builder. Here's a little brotherly competition. 2 Eagle Scout brothers earned all 137 merit badges. Commander with the U.S. Navy SEALs, Surgeon with the U.S. Army Delta Force, and combat physician with the Army's 82nd Airborne. Stomper, the mascot of the Oakland Athletics Baseball Club, one of United Airlines' youngest pilots. Julian trained concert pianist who has played top performance spaces. 2 Navy captains of the USNS Mercy Hospital ship Dr. New Orleans. The newest tradesman in the PBS show Ask This Old House. Stephen King, though not a scout, in his 57 full-length books referenced scouting 32 times. This year's starting quarterback for the Florida Gators, who was 4th in the Heisman Trophy and was drafted in the 2nd round. Too bad the Bears didn't get him, because they would have had 2 Eagle Scouts in the backfield, and I guarantee you they would have not had an 8-8 record. NASA's longest-serving flight director, in charge of 39 missions, and the student body of Harvard. Eagle Scouts are everything from architects to zoologists, and because of their scouting background, they all perform the best at what they do. There are many young men and women of all abilities and spectrum who are becoming Eagle Scouts. Congratulations to the Troop 2 leaders who have been honored at the council and district recognition dinners, and those who have taken the many training courses. These leaders are part of over 400 adults who contribute directly along a Scout's way to help them achieve the Eagle rank. Our district thought we had the oldest Eagle Scout, but there's a gentleman in Georgia who became an Eagle Scout at age 15 and was 107 years young. If you choose to continue with the service project at the college level, the Alpha Phi Omega National Service Fraternity, which is usually filled with Scouts, would be a great choice. It is a great source of networking and friendship. In 2019, they had their biennial meeting in Austin, Texas, where over 1,400 were in attendance. For you football fans, there are 10 players in the NFL who are Eagle Scouts, plus 2 members of the 2019 class, including a Chicago Bear. For you music lovers, John Philip Sousa, though not an Eagle Scout, in 1916 wrote the Boy Scouts of America March. Many consider it one of the 3 best marches he wrote, along with Stars and Stripes Forever and the Washington Post March. The recent story about the goats eating poison ivy in a park is a result of a Hornaday project by an Eagle Scout. The Hornaday Award includes many requirements, consisting of 4 Eagle-level environmental-related projects. There are on average 16 Hornaday Awards a year across the nation. There are several other tiers of awards available. Please check out the National Eagle Scout Association, which has scholarships for colleges and trade schools. And I think last year they gave out $700,000 worth of scholarships. Also, there are many colleges, universities, companies, religious organizations, veterans groups, and individuals offering scholarships to Eagle Scouts. Essay writing may be a requirement. As an aside, in the 2019 summer, the Cubs AAA team in Iowa wore scouting-themed jerseys. The jerseys were auctioned off and proceeds donated to Scouts BSA. Henry Aaron, a scout, but not an Eagle, was a firm believer and contributor to scouting throughout his life. On Jeopardy! Scouting-related answers were used 37 times and 200 times as questions in categories. Reagan, Will, and Alex, Eagle Scouts. As you continue along the trail you started years ago when you first became a Scout, please accept these Eagle walking sticks on behalf of the Northeast Illinois Council as a symbol of your achievement, and take pride in knowing that you're one of the best and one of the few to earn the rank of Eagle Scout. Thank you.
Let's get a picture of you guys with Jeff.
Thank you, Jack. So the next section is in recognition of the support of adult leadership in the path to Eagle. Will our Eagle Scouts please ask their mentors in Scouting to come up and receive their mentor pin and make comments if you like. So, Will, why don't you come first? We'll uncover your stuff.
Mr. Galindo, will you please come up? I'll be giving my first mentor pin to Mr. Galindo. He gives so much time to scouting and gives all scouts the opportunity to succeed and have a meaningful scout experience. His organization and dedication is something to be emulated. I would also like to present a mentor pin to Mr. Daly. Even after his tenure as Scoutmaster, and although Mark had finished scouting years ago, Mr. Daly always manages to lend a helping hand to the troop. He continues to volunteer his time to Troop 2, attending meetings and campouts, and being a champion for scouting. Also, Mr. Daly keeps the neatest trailer full of gear I've ever seen. I feel that Mr. Daly also took time to mentor me in my Eagle journey.
Okay. I am giving one of my mentor pins to Mr. Galindo. Without Mr. Galindo, I wouldn't be standing up here in front of you. He took extra time to help make sure I met the time limit to be in the first class of female Eagle Scouts. He's always had a ton of confidence in me that I can always do my best, and told me not to just count myself when I do. So thank you, Mr. Galindo, for helping me achieve my goals. I'm giving my second mentor pin to my mom. My mom became a leader in the girls' troop because of me. She took 2 weekends away from her family to get trained so she could help me achieve my Eagle. She has given up countless hours to help me and other scouts on their Eagle journey. So thank you, Mom.
pleasure kissing in Scouts.
So I am not as well prepared as these two, so I don't have anything written. However, I would like to give my first mentor pin to Mr. Galindo. Those of you who don't know, Mr. Galindo has given a lot to the troop, and he's given a lot to me personally, being my scoutmaster and my project mentor. And my second mentor pin, I would like to give to Mr. Daly, because he was the scoutmaster when I first joined the troop, and he was very patient with my group. As Pierce said, we were quite difficult when we were younger, and I really appreciate everything he did, and thank you.
So now we're going to do the recognition of the support of grandparents, so in the Path to Eagle. So we'd like the Scouts to come up, once again in the same order, Will, and they're going to walk around to the grandparents. I think the grandparents would like that. Reagan. All right, now we are, this time has been set aside for each one of the Eagles to say a few words. Ooh, didn't you know this?
I'm prepared.
Okay, good. See, everybody's got paper. This is good. All right, Will, come on up.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming here today, and especially thank the troop. As long as I can remember, I've been involved in scouting in one way or another. With older brothers who are all Eagle Scouts, it wasn't uncommon to see me sitting through scout meetings or running around Camp Crown during commando. As such, I eagerly joined Cub Scouts in first grade, and as soon as I got the chance. With Mr. Stein as our pack leader, I, along with 16 others, made our way through Cub Scouts, doing fun activities such as the Pinewood Derby, selling popcorn, and family campouts. I'd like to thank Mrs. Bailey and my mom for being our den leaders, and Mr. Stein as our Cub Master in Pack 7. We finished Cub Scouts and joined Troop 2, where our involvement was increased. From first aid to cooking, I've learned countless things in my time as a scout. However, no experience has been more enlightening than my trip to Philmont. That experience managed to encapsulate the wide array of skills involved in scouting into 2 weeks of hiking. Another valuable learning moment was my Eagle project. Through building benches at Winnetka Covenant Church, I learned the value of leadership. It has been these experiences and scouting as a whole, that I've been able to grow as a person. In the future, I will continue to live up to the ideals listed in the Scout Law and the Eagle Promise. Thank you to all leaders in Troop 2 and to my family for supporting me through my years of scouting.
Oh, so excited. Yeah, it's fine. We can deal with that later. Okay, mine's more than a few words, but okay. For those of you that don't know me and haven't heard my name 1,000 times today, I'm Reagan Barr. First off, I would like to say a huge congratulations to Will and Alex on achieving your Eagle Scout. I know you both worked so hard to get here, and look, here you are. Secondly, I would like to tell you all how honored I am to be standing up here. Achieving the rank of Eagle Scout means so much to me. It means I have followed in the footsteps of my brother, Griffin, and it means a new chapter for girls. When girls were first allowed to join Scouts BSA, I was a little hesitant to join. I didn't know if it would be the thing for me or if I'd have fun. But ultimately, I've had a lot of fun so far. I've met some amazing people, gained a ton of new friends, became closer to my tent buddy, aka my mom, and gained skills that will stick with me for the rest of my life. I will embarrass myself for a second, but what's new? When I was on my Eagle Board of Review, the board said, "Congrats, you've earned your Eagle Scout." I started sobbing, half from nerves and because my mom was walking around the kitchen listening to the conversation, and half from the relief and happiness I felt to have earned my Eagle Scout. It means so much to have earned it, and honestly, I'd do it all over again if I had to, but I'd rather not. Lastly, I would like to thank everybody for coming today. Whether you know me or not, it still means a lot to me that you all came out today to support Will, Alex, and myself. I know it means a lot to them as well. I would like to thank Mr. Galindo, Mr. Daly, and Mr. Patel for putting in extra work and taking extra time out of their day to help me get to where I am now. I would like to thank Mrs. Kelly, Mrs. Stein, and Mrs. Bailey also for taking time out of their day to do board's review for me so I could meet the timing to be in the first class of female Eagle Scouts, and for doing merit badges with me. Thank you to Mrs. Stocker, Mrs. Kelly, and Kate Strieger, and my teachers who wrote my recommendation letters for my Eagle. Thank you to Mrs. Galindo for coming up with a brilliant Eagle Scout project in the middle of a pandemic. Thank you to all the Scout families and Scouts for supporting me on my journey as well. I would then like to thank, all my family and friends for coming out today to support me and supporting me all along my journey and in my whole life. Thank you to all my family that came from out of town and my family on the phone that came to celebrate with me. It was a nice surprise. And last but certainly not least, I would like to thank my family. Griffin, you have set a high bar and have been an amazing role model for me most of the time. Thank you for supporting me and always cheering me on in everything I do. Dad, thank you for supporting me and for cooking for Scout events like Commando, the Rocketry Campout, and Spaghetti Chili Dinner so I didn't have to. Thank you for putting up with all the Scout talk in the house, and thank you for being my best bud. Lastly, Mom, what would I do without you? Thank you so much for everything you've done for me, for becoming a Scout leader so I could go to Philmont and go on campouts, for being my tent buddy, for being a Twinkie with me, for pushing me and sometimes yelling at me to get my paperwork done for the merit badges and my Eagle project. Thank you for also thinking you're so hysterical and making me laugh when only sometimes you are. Thank you for pushing me to do this because I wouldn't be up here if it weren't for you. As they say in the song, Ma, you earned your Eagle. Thank you.
So that was quite long. Mine's a bit more brief. All right. First, I would like to thank my brother and all the older scouts for all that they did for me when I was young and new to the troop. They let me in and never failed to teach me whatever skill or concept we were learning that week. Next, I want to thank all my merit badge counselors. There are too many to name, but one who I felt really stood out was Mr. Kelly. At this point, I've lost track of how many merit badges you taught me or helped teach me, but I have a feeling it's probably in the double digits. Next, I want to thank all the friends I've met and made through scouting. You have all really helped make these past 10 years or so very enjoyable. I also want to thank all my scoutmasters and assistant scoutmasters. Mrs. Kelly, you had the patience of a saint to lead my grade through Cub Scouts, and looking back, I have no idea how you did it. Mr. Daly and Mr. Galindo, I could talk about all that you have done for the troop and myself for hours, but unfortunately, the Scoutmaster minute is coming up, and we don't have enough time for 2 speeches of that length. Finally, I want to thank my parents. I know there were a lot of times, especially leading up to my project, when I was very stressed about what needed to be done, but you were patient and helped me with what needed to be done. I will never be able to thank you both enough for the amount of support you've given me along my scouting journey. There are still many people that I could thank. As I said, we would be here for hours, and I still wouldn't even be close to acknowledging all the people who have helped me along my scouting journey, either directly or indirectly. Every parent who helped me on a camp out, every teacher or coach who helped teach me skills that I use in scouts and will continue to use throughout my life. And even some random guy at Philmont who told me there was no toilet paper in the bathroom before I went in. All these people have made an impact on my life, and for that I will always be thankful. Thank you.
Hi, sorry. Mr. Baldwin is going to come back up now. He has something to say. He has a presentation. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. In order to stop a rift in a certain family, I'm going to level the playing field here. So Chris and Robbie, please come forward and accept walking sticks. Got that.
By the way, in case some of you don't know, Jack actually makes all these sticks for like everybody in the Potawatomi district. It's just crazy. He spends many hours in his garage, and I don't think it's because he doesn't like his wife. But every time I'm at his house, he's always in the garage sanding and cutting pieces of wood, and he always asks, like, hey, do you have any wood, that I could use? I'm like, no, I don't. All right. Do you have something you'd like to say, Reagan? We all do. Yes, then here, come on up. We all have to get it in before Mr. Galindo talks.
We know that with all the new scouts entering the troop, there's a need for more resources. So in light of that, we'd like to present a new tent for the troop to the SPL, Karitsa Patel.
Awesome. You can explain it if you want, because you sleep in one.
So this is basically a very nice tent. It's one of my favorite tents that we have. It's super easy to put up, and it's also quite expensive. So it's nice to have a lot of them in the troop. Okay,
Okay, so next we would like to give a gift to Mr. Patel. Mr. Patel thought he was done, but then he became the scoutmaster for the girls' troop when girls were allowed to join. He has had a son go through scouts and achieve his Eagle, and has a daughter, Karitza, on her way to Eagle Scout. Mr. Patel has devoted time to helping the scouts and the troop on their journey. Thank you, Mr. Patel, for all you've done for the troop.
Next up, we'd like to thank Mr. Galindo. If you somehow don't know who Mr. Galindo is, allow me to explain. Mr. Galindo is our scoutmaster, but to compare him to other scoutmasters would be a huge disservice to him. I think I speak for everyone here when I say that he's gone above and beyond what would usually be considered above and beyond. He has done so much for the troop, it is hard to even conceive the amount of work that he's put in. I'm sure every scout here has at least a dozen individual stories of times that Mr. Galindo has gone out of his way to help them specifically. So on behalf of everyone here, thank you, Mr. Galindo.
Next, Mr. Daly. Mr. Daly has put in a huge amount of time to helping the troop while he was scoutmaster and now is committee chairman. Even though he doesn't have a son or daughter in the troop anymore, he devotes time to helping the scouts of Troop 2. Thank you, Mr. Daly.
The final person we'd like to recognize and thank has volunteered with our troop for many years. He works not just with our troop, but makes Eagle staffs for every single Eagle Scout in our council, and acts as our liaison with the Northeast Illinois Council. His sons are both Eagle Scouts, and he's been involved in scouting for many years, and still finds time to attend all of our meetings. We are so lucky to have Mr. Baldwin involved in the troop, and for his support, we'd like to give him a gift. Can we please have a hand for Mr. Jack Baldwin?